This morning, British Gas told us it's going to cut gas prices by 5% on the 27th of August. No electricity price cuts though. Of course, big picture, it's good news because people are going to pay less, especially those who don't engage in the active market. But it is not an excuse for sitting on your laurels. If you're with British Gas, inevitably you are still being massively overcharged. And I want to explain that situation to you. The first thing to say is since January 2014, wholesale gas prices have dropped by around 30%. British Gas's gas price has dropped by around 10%. So let's not overpraise it with generosity. In reality, this is still a relatively paltry cut, though it has to be said, some of that increase, that 20% differential if you like, is because of government policies towards how energy is generated and green policies that does add to some of the cost. But what I really want to show to you is quite how much you're still being overcharged on British Gas. So what I'm going to give you now is the typical prices for an average user paying by direct debit. Of course, if you use less, you'll pay less. If you use more, you'll use more, but you get the point. So, after the cuts, a British Gas standard tariff user, which is the majority of its customers, will pay £1,130 a year. If you were to switch to Sainsbury's Energy, which is British Gas doing a Rory Bremner, it's British Gas just under another name. It's not really Sainsbury's, it's run by British Gas, it's provided by British Gas. It just uses this as a differential pricing strategy so that it can target the switchers market with this tariff so that people on British Gas don't realise it's the same thing. 930 quid a year. That was 1130, this is 930. £200 a year cheaper. And the cheapest deal on the market? £870 a year, £250 a year cheaper than British Gas, even after the price cut. And if you actually look at the date of that price cut, which is the 27th of August, I should get that right, then in reality, if you were to do a comparison and switch to your cheapest provider now, you would be with the new provider by the time the British Gas price cut took effect, so you would be saving quicker and much faster otherwise. Now, it's worth saying, I think, when British Gas moves, that here's an impression of the rest of the companies. They are like sheep. I expect other gas price cuts to be announced, maybe of between 1% and 5% from the other companies, but the same message is true there, because we have a split market. When you do a comparison, what you're being offered is cheap fixes either by the big companies or by small companies, new entrants to the market who are desperate to win your custom. And they are totally separate from the standard prices most people are paying. So while one big energy company might be the most expensive on the market, it may also have the cheapest tariff, which is why you need to do a comparison. Whomever you're with, if you're one of the 70% of people on a standard tariff, you're massively paying too much, and no matter whether they bring prices down or not, you'll still be paying too much. So big message from me, do not sit up on your laurels, get up off your backside and do a comparison if you haven't done one in the last couple of years. Use the Cheap Energy Club. Yes, we get paid for switching you there, about 60 quid, but we give 30 quid of it to you in cashback. 20 quid are our external costs, some of the rest is internal costs, and we hope to make some profit too. But you won't get that if you go direct. It's actually cheaper through us, and the comparison we do is right across the market. So, big picture from me, don't let this give you a false sense of security if you're with British Gas or any of the other big sips on a standard tariff that because prices are coming down, you're getting a good deal. You're not. You're being ripped off.